Hey, so we're catching the last moments of sunlight, and I wanted to take a moment and talk about one of the most wonderful things that occurs for teachers, English teachers in Vietnam. And it occurs for teachers all over the world, but there's it happens a lot here because you know you take people from 0 to 100, and it's remarkable to watch those changes. So I call this the breakthrough lesson, the breakthrough moments, the times when you know that the student has now grasped conversational English to a level that they can fully understand everything we're doing as far as lessons go, is learning about new topics, learning about, going from book to book to progressing, right? But it comes in stages. So you get these mini glimpses at the beginning when the eyes go from glazed to totally engaged, right? Glazed is that look that many of my students have at the very beginning, and I know that they will. It's normal, and I expect it to happen, right? Because I use a process of language acquisition that is based on the physiology that occurs, the changes in the brain that happen as you learn another language. It's a process that you got to watch some of my introduction videos maybe to grasp, or go out and learn about how the brain works acquiring language. But in its most basic form, we've got we've got our students' brain is developing. They have an operating system, whatever the native language is, right? But we already are wired for multiple levels of language. There is body language, there is um, noise language of babies, there's sign language, there's there's acting something out, crying in different ways when you're super young, mimicking sounds as you go through life. Uh, that process happens for every language. So I know that going in. So initially, I will get students that are just almost staring blankly at you, like, oh my God, what the heck is going on here, right? He's talking, we're going through these lessons, we're talking back and forth, there's stories, there's all this stuff. Why? I fill the waiting room that's the processing center of information big time, and early on in lessons. I don't hesitate to not to I don't want to dumb down lessons, right? You want to bring people up. So you're bringing your students up in this process where you really fill their processing units in their brain. Those will begin to build a nascent, a young English center. And there's a moment, a breakthrough moment, where you recognize that that center is now being formed. It comes from the brain basically deciding, okay, this is serious, you know, every day, 3 times a week, once a week, this person is devoting time to this subject. So the brain will prioritize working on that material. And those glazed looks begin to change because they are understanding much more than we comprehend, because they start to understand the sign language we use, the pictures, the all the added information, the stories. Why is, building these neural networks in their brain. That begins to coalesce into a true operating system that any of you that are bilingual or multilingual know that when you are speaking that second or third or fourth or fifth language, you are not translating everything that's happening back to your native language. You're operating in that English operating system or the French operating system or the Vietnamese operating system. It controls everything, and it controls even the physical nature of your body, because you will speak using muscles and things that you need to speak English using different muscles, which means you may look different. You're using different muscles in your face. You're using different muscles in your body, different expressions with your hands or other things, because you're learning all the different aspects of language at the same time and building connections. Stories build connections. Everything builds on itself. And it happens over time, and you get to see these breakthrough moments. So, why am I saying this? Because Monday, which is one of those days you wake up, Monday blues everywhere in the world. Oh, God, another week, right? You know, I gotta get in there, happy face. So, and then you walk in, and I was lucky this past Monday. I had literally what I call a breakthrough day, in that we've started a new curriculum. The first two lessons that I have to do in this are listening lessons. And so I was able to use their listening skills that exist already to cover this material. And it was fantastic. It made everything enjoyable. I learned where many of their strengths and weaknesses yet again, but saw really their strengths. And we went into this new material in a way that was very engaging. I also had another breakthrough moment with one of my students, that this has been a what I would say a gradual build up moment, in that they really began about a month ago to have the click where everything changed in conversation. So a early question that I'll ask is, how was your day at school? Right? What did you study? At the beginning, for many months, I usually get just the subjects, and then I might ask some little questions here and there. After a while, they've developed the skill of really listening to questions, and all of a sudden, I can go into one of the topics that they've been studying that day and find out more. What class did they like the most, right? What inspired them about that subject, that material. And so we have these breakthrough moments, and that has been going on for about a month with the student. And then last night, she reminded me that we had missed two stories in a book level. We're on 4 in the book that she's doing. I thought we'd finished the whole book. I forgot. She didn't. And I had already moved us into the book 5. And she said, "Whoa, we forgot this book." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Oh, and I didn't do so good on my English exam." And I said, "Oh, what do you mean you didn't do good on your English exam?" And she said, "Yeah, I only got 9.25. And then she smiled literally from like ear to ear, because she was joking with me. 9.25. is like an A plus. Okay, she missed 2 questions on the whole test, and it was a lot of material, and the 2 questions she missed were the same question, meaning she reversed something, and that happens one time. She got one reverse out of the whole thing, so she was very, very happy about her English skill exam that she'd just taken, her midterm exam. So we went and did the stories, and I just got to say, I teach my students introduction, main body, conclusion, and to fill it with creativity, right? So you're given 5 pictures of activities, and you make a story out of them. And oh my God, she did the first story just absolutely perfect. Like, just like, wow. And then she says, I didn't really prepare the second one, but I can think about it. And I gave her time to look at the pictures and think. And she did it perfectly again. And like, it was really what I call a breakthrough moment in teaching, when your student has gotten it and everything just grows from there. So join us in Vietnam. I know that the lighting on this is probably terrible, but I want to say goodnight. Peace from Vietnam. Any of you that are thinking about teaching here, please look into it more seriously. Consider it as an option. It's a great place to teach English. Phenomenal place to teach English. So anything I can do to help, message me. I will do my best to help you, direct you to the right resources or other places on YouTube or elsewhere to help you secure a dream of being here. So, peace from Vietnam. Any of you that are teachers out there, keep having those breakthrough moments with your students and take them to heart, enjoy them, make the most of them. See you soon. Like, share, subscribe, send this out to your friends, and please come to Vietnam and teach English.